Continuing my post-chemotherapy speedrun is another video for a deck box review, this time another 3D printed deck box I found on Etsy. Is it worth the price tag? Let's find out. The deck box doesn't have a fancy name, it's simply labeled as Commander Deck Box with Integrated Command Zone, which I will have a direct link for in the description so you don't have to hunt around for it if you decide it's worth it. So what does Integrated Command Zone mean? Well, in this case, the top cover of the deck box doubles as a command zone, with spots for commander damage for all 4 players, life, and commander tax, and of course a space for your commander. Before we get to the box, let's talk about this command zone real quick. So each triangular recess fits D10s optimally, though standard size D20s will also work just fine. Now unfortunately for my sickos out there, the oversized D20s do not work well here. The commander slot has this little circle which makes it possible to actually get your commander out by digging your finger underneath the sleeve. Now this fits just sleeve commanders, top loaders are a bit too big for the recess, but you could probably just lay it on top. I think that's probably legal. The titles of the sections are a bit raised, which makes it look nice, but more importantly, they fit into these grooves on the deck box itself, and they're magnetized, which leads to a pretty strong cover strength. Under standard duress, the cover will work very nicely. In addition to the main component is a compartment that houses this little box, which can be used for counters or dice, but it is too small for tokens. The box itself is pretty flimsy, but since it either sits in the larger box or flat on the table, it should be fine. Most standard sized dice will fit in the box, but once again, another L for us bundled dice sickos. Now this tiny box fits pretty much all the dice set you would use in the command zone, which means this box won't really work well for a deck with a lot of counters. You can't totally bring your dice and whatnot in your bag or your other transportation box, so it's not a huge issue, just kind of ironic. The main compartment will hold 125 single-sleeved cards, and the listing says it'll hold 100 double-sleeve cards, but I could only realistically fit about 95 of my double-sleeve cards, which is kind of a bummer. Maybe it's my type of inner sleeve, but buyer beware. However, for single sleeves, 125 is good enough for a commander deck and a whole bunch of tokens. Now the box will actually fit into some boulder size or larger carrying boxes, but on its side, assuming the larger box has space to accommodate the verticality of this box. But in general, I would say this is probably a bag type box. The overall build quality of the box is pretty good, especially on the top where the command zone attachment reinforces the box. But the bottom panel is a bit flimsy if you apply pressure to the center of it. Now this is the bottom, so ideally it'll be laying on the table or in whatever you're using to carry it, so that should provide some more stability. If you like the idea of a command zone handy, this is a pretty great pickup. Otherwise I might stick with a boulder or some of the other 3D printed deck boxes out there like some that I've reviewed. Thank you for watching, and I will see you around.